Welcome to The Fraud Lab, where we unravel mysteries, expose scams, and equip you with the knowledge to protect yourself against the ever-evolving world of fraud. Hey lab rats, Joe here. Today, we're diving headfirst into a realm of deception that's as unique as it is alarming: biometric fraud. You see, in a world where our fingerprints, faces, and even our heartbeats can be used as keys to our most sensitive information, the stakes have never been higher. What if the keys can be stolen or replicated? What if the very features that make us unique become the tools of fraudsters? Let's go on a journey into the world of biometric fraud and find out. What's up, Simon? Good to see you again. So, in our last episode, we were talking about the growing threat of biometric fraud. What are the different types?
Yeah, so there are lots of different categories, and each of them has got their own challenges and their own signals for us to kind of look out for. First, let's start with something simple. So the simplest method we have when attacking biometrics is to take the photo from the identity document, then we can print out the photo and then try and present that instead of the biometrics.
That's me.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
I can't tell you.
That's way easy. Way too easy.
Yeah. But you see, it all depends on how sophisticated your algorithm is. Because it might well be that we could pick this up, for example, with textual analysis. We might also, if we were to use liveness product, so something that's asking the person to move, we detect the fact that this is just a flat piece of paper.
That won't work.
No.
So what's the next level?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Step 2. Step 2 is where you take a photo of the person. Again, we can steal it from the identity document or maybe from social media, and we turn it into a very simple 2D mask.
Very simple and freaky.
And now I can move around, so I can try and simulate a bit of movement.
Now, although this mask is obviously fake, we need to remember that the fraudster is not trying to fool you or I, but rather a robot, or more technically, an algorithm. The goal of the fraudster is to link themselves to the document they presented by passing the biometric test. Since the algorithm is basically a list of checkboxes, such as eye color, bone structure, range of skin tone, etc., it almost becomes a game to see how many boxes could be checked off to pass the test. So, although the mask is crude, it could still check the boxes needed to fool a basic algorithm. Now, if you had a more robust algorithm with a lot more boxes to check, it would be a lot harder to pass.
Okay, so we have our printout, we have our 2D mask. The next one we have.
Can't wait. Oh my God.
We could have a 3D mask.
The freak level just went a couple of levels now.
Yeah, it's not a good likeness of you, I'll give you that.
No, it's not. My neck doesn't do this.
Yeah, and remember, I don't have to worry about the hair either. All I have to worry about is the central features. I'm going to take this off now.
Really? The computer doesn't look at whether or not I have hair and that doesn't?
Well, your hair's likely to change, so it's not a very good feature to base your biometrics on. But your facial features, your bone structure, yeah, those are quite valuable elements. But even your jawline can change if you put on a lot of weight, which is, we have to consider all the possibilities.
Okay.
So as you can see, we're gradually increasing in the sophistication level and then the success that it's likely to have.
So it seems like there's probably another level, which I've seen online, and a lot of famous memes going around with people's faces like being morphed into other famous people's faces. Deepfakes, right?
So deep learned algorithms have kind of really improved, and the technology's come a long way in the last few years. So it's a lot more accessible now. And this means that fraudsters, who tend to be at the front edge of a lot of technological advances, they're always seeing what they can manipulate and what they can use. They've really adopted this. So year on year, just from last year alone, we've seen a 3,000% increase in the number of attempts using deepfakes.
3,000, that's
3,000, yep.
Wow, so it is totally popular, as my kids would tell me.
Yeah.
So the world of biometric fraud is more multifaceted than ever before. But here's the big question. How are these fraud rings generated And how do they leverage biometrics to attack companies? Hey, Virginia.
Hey Joe, I got your question, so I thought I'd give you a call. It's a sophisticated game that fraud rings play, Joe, and biometrics fraud is just one of the tools in their toolkit. These attackers understand that no single method is foolproof, so they'll use a variety of techniques to maximize their success. Picture this, Joe, a fraud ring trying to create multiple fake bank accounts in order to take out a loan. How does it work? They start with a victim's digital footprint. For example, they'll use stolen identity documents. They usually obtain these through data leaks. Then they might use deepfake technology to take the face from the document and apply that to an image of their own face. This allows them to create multiple fake identities and bypass the identity verification process. From a simple cut and paste to sophisticated deep learning methods, fraudsters are able to increase the scale of their attacks exponentially.
So it's not just about one method, it's about how they use all of them together. They basically recreate your identity with all these available pieces of you out there on the web.
Exactly, Joe. It's all about exploiting the gaps in our defenses. Fraud rings operate in a way that's constantly adapting to new security measures. It's a constant game of cat and mouse.
This is Julia Dinola, a leading authority in the fight against biometric fraud. She's at the forefront of the battle to secure digital identities. Hey, Julia.
Hey Joe,
How you doing?
very good, thank you, and you?
Good, good. So, can you share with me a real-world example of how you and your team are catching fraud these days?
Sure, Joe. I'm part of a fraud team and we catch thousands of fraud attempts on a daily basis. Let me give you an example. We recently had a case where a fraud ring attempted to infiltrate a financial institution using stolen identities and highly sophisticated fake documents. But our attack was able to detect that something was off. We flagged the inconsistencies between the biometrics data and the documents they provided. And not only were we able to stop the initial attempt, but we also recognized repeat fraudsters trying multiple times under different identities.
So how does you and your team manage fraudsters that use these fake identities all the time?
Well, that's the beauty of biometrics, because our system is designed to know faces on a deep level and identify unique features and patterns. So when these fraudsters attempted to use different identities, our technology flagged them as suspicious based on biometric inconsistencies, as well as signals and patterns that we identified in the videos and photos provided by the users.
That's some crazy stuff. Can you show me how that's done? Right here, do you have a laptop we can open?
Not right here, Joe, but if we go back to the fraud lab, I can actually show you a real example.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do it.
Cool, let's go.
All right, Julia, here we are.
Yes.
So, what do you got to show?
Yeah, so basically, Joe, in our system, we have alerts in place that trigger whenever there is a spike in fraud so that we can actually take a closer look at the data.
Okay.
And actually, we seem to be having a huge spike. This is about like hundreds of attempts happening in just a couple of days. So we definitely need to take a closer look at the data to understand what's going on.
Okay.
And yeah, if you look at these three bars, I mean, this big blue one is actually telling us that all these attempts are related to source integrity.
So what exactly is source integrity?
Yeah, so source integrity means that the media uploaded by the fraudsters may have been tampered with or injected somehow.
Injected, what does that mean?
Yeah, great question, Joe. So with our platform, we can actually see that all these attempts are related to virtual cameras.
So when you say virtual cameras, what exactly is that?
It's basically fake webcams or virtual cameras. It's a software that acts as if it were a real hardware camera, but instead it allows fraudsters to display any video or image of their choice.
Okay, so then I'm a fraudster has a fake ID that's using a fake camera trying to break into a company.
Exactly. But in this case, we actually got you, Joe.
Okay. Lab rats. Our biometric data is under constant threat from sophisticated attackers, but fear not, because knowledge is power. Here are some key takeaways for individuals and companies. First, Choose strong, reputable providers for biometric security. Do your research and ensure they have robust anti-fraud measures in place. For companies, safeguarding your customers' biometric data is paramount. Implement biometric security, but also educate your employees and customers. Regularly update your security protocols and monitor for any suspicious activities. And remember, the world of biometric technology is ever evolving, from improved facial recognition to advanced liveness detection. Staying updated with these innovations can make all the difference in keeping your systems secure. But the battle doesn't stop here. We need to dive deeper into the digital deception rat hole as we explore the world of deepfake and cheapfake technology. But that's next time on the Fraud Lab. For more episodes, subscribe below. And for more fraud content, sign up for our podcast and download our fraud report.